All praises to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And let's get into this video. As it says right here, oil prices will skyrocket. Now, today is the last couple of days have been very good days because of Bible prophecy. We know that according to Bible prophecy, one of the last few prophecies is the mark of this. One of the last few prophecies is a Sihip and the escalation of World War III before Yahweh Shai comes back. Right? So here's the thing. We know lately the Ayatollah has died, but right now I believe Iran and Israel are going at it. So let's play the video.
Ships. Breaking news, the Strait of Hormuz has been closed and gas and oil prices are set to skyrocket. The Iranian Navy is now sinking any ship that tries to transport oil and gas through the Strait of Hormuz, where nearly half of the world's supply runs through. 4 American and British ships have already been struck, and the world's biggest oil transport company has ordered all of its ships to turn around. World governments are begging Iran to open the strait, such as Australia and Europe, as they get all of their gas and oil from these nations. Iran has also sent drones and blown up oil rigs in the Gulf, meaning even once it reopens, this could take months to repair. Countries like Russia are set to have a historic month of selling oil, as the price could go from $60 a barrel upwards to $200. The longer the war goes on, a bigger of a disaster this will have for the global economy. For countries like the US, Europe, and Australia that rely heavily on Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Bahrain, the UAE, for oil. Breaking news.
Right, exactly. So we have these oil giants basically shutting off their oil. Iran, which the Strait of Hormuz is by, right? The Strait of Hormuz, I believe, is shut down. So, of course, this has impact on the global economy because the global economy is the petrodollar, right? So we know that if oil is skyrocketing, that means things are going to get more expensive, shipping costs are more expensive, right? Food will be more expensive, everything will simply be more expensive. Now, of course, this could eventually turn to a ceasefire, but unlike the 12-day war, this is much bigger. This from just these around, I believe, 48 hours alone, I believe, has been much bigger than the 12-day war Iran and Israel has had, right? Because now they hit a big target, which was the Ayatollah. And of course, they're going to have a new Ayatollah, I believe, with Iran. But now they're going to be escalating some more. Now, Iran and Israel really will be going at it along with America. So eventually this will escalate and turn into a regional war. Let's go here.
Have now been Even more bases have now been destroyed by Iran. This is the 3rd American base destroyed in Kuwait. Here is one of our biggest naval bases in Bahrain, and it is burning on fire. This base was home to our 5th naval fleet of the Middle East. This right here is the 3rd destroyed base, the Erbil base in Iraq. Back to the naval base in Bahrain, home of the 5th Fleet. This was earlier today. The fire on it has been raging now for over 24 hours, and more strikes have occurred. This base was not evacuated, and the air defenses have completely ran out, and it is now extremely vulnerable to any drones or missiles. Here are strikes on the Bahrain naval base yet again. And on our biggest air base in the region, the Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, air defenses are running really low, as the Iranians, as you clearly see, are swarming the skies above. And once we run out, it could take over 3 weeks to get more defense batteries inside, and this one just failed. The majority of the air defenses were moved into Israel away from the Air Force bases. Comment your thoughts, make sure to follow me right.
Right, so even American bases are getting bombed because what usually would happen is that even though, Israel and Iran, they would have their little spat, or Israel and Hezbollah would have their little spat, the American bases would usually be untouched. So now it's shown that even American bases are no longer untouchable, right? So let's get our scripture right here. It says, Matthew chapter 24, verse 8. All these are the beginning of birth pains, right? So all these stuff happening with Iran and all this stuff, we're now getting into the beginning of the actual escalation, where the real deal happens. But this is beginning of birth pains, because we know the C-HIP action needs to come first. In Revelation chapter 6, verse 16, says, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us, hide us from the face of him that sat on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb, right? Because Slaka, you're going to have these elites and these bunkers, these billionaires, even trillionaires. I'm pretty sure there's trillionaires that we don't know about hiding in these bunkers, right? And what's going to end up happening is, with the bombs coming around, these bombs are going to kind of cause a shaking on the ground, right? So don't be surprised some bunkers actually do collapse on these elites. And for the elites that survive, well, they're going straight into slavery. So this is a good day, brethren. All praises to Yahweh, Baha Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Hope this lesson was edifying. Shalom.